Hello, and welcome back to Exploring Multimedia Art with Pd-L2Ork. This is Series 1, Episode 5. We're going to be working with sprites in this episode. Basically, it's part of the functionality of Pd-L2Ork's data structures package. And what a sprite is really a series of images that you can utilize as a form of animation, frame-by-frame animation. And we're going to see what are some of the things we can do with that. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so I'm on my desktop here. I've made a folder called Episode 5 here. And because I have some students that are taking this as a class, I'll be informing them along the way some of the materials that I can provide for them in order to do this assignment. Those of you watching on YouTube, you can, well, the students can also fill in whatever they want to in this. But basically, I just want to make it clear for my students how to access this material. So anyway, a good example of what I'm talking about with a sprite is if you go to Pd-L2Ork's console and go to Help and go to About. And here we see an animated cat walking. This is a sprite. And down here at the bottom is a subpatch that has all the patching for it. It's a data structure. So struct, and its name is cat, using float X, float Y. This is stuff we've been doing for a few weeks now. So that all should make sense. Here we have a toggle box that turns on and off Metro. Metro is an object that sends out bangs. And here you put the time in milliseconds. That would be the interval or space in between each bang. So every 50 milliseconds, this is sending a bang. So if you think about that, since 1,000 milliseconds is 1 second, this is really basically doing something like a frame rate of 20 frames per second. Now this bang hits a float box. And when the patch loads up, the float box by default is containing the number 0. Well, that number goes out its outlet here, goes into the adder +1, and then it goes through mod 30. Mod 30 is modulation at the number 30. Basically, as long as the numbers coming through are below 30, it lets them go through. If they hit above 30 or 30 and above, actually at the number 30, it will modulate back to 0. It feeds that back into the float box here, so it becomes 0 again, +1, and so forth. So basically, until it gets to 30, it goes through as the number that it is, gets stored in here, and as you see, the result is basically it's counting up to 29, 0 to 29, over and over again. And that's being fed to draw, sprite, and then this is really a relative folder name. This patch here, where it's saved on the computer, and you can see it says C, Program Files x86, the 32-bit Program Files folder, Pd-L2Ork, doc, about. So in this folder, this is basically saying go back one folder to a folder named cat. So that's how you could find this on your computer. You could look up here to see what folder this patch is in, and then say, okay, if we go back one from about to doc, there should be a folder in there named cat. And so we're going to look at that real quick here. I'm going to browse for it. Now on Mac, that would be different. It wouldn't be program files. I assume it would be an applications folder, but you probably can use the same method to trace where that is on your computer. So here I'm going to this PC, C, program files x86, scroll down to Pd-L2Ork, and then it's in doc. Now, this thing's in an about folder, which is right here. But this // means go back one. So there should be a cat folder here. And okay, so it's not doing it in a relative location to where the patch is. Let's go into about and see here. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah. I wonder why. Yeah, that's right. This is a single dot. If it was double dots, it would be going back a folder. Here, it's just signifying that that's a folder. And there's where your cat folder is. Okay. I usually don't use the // I just put a folder name, then / if I need to. But you see here, it doesn't reference an actual file name. It references a folder name. And this folder contains the sprite, or the sprites, frame by frame, the animation of this walking cat. I know this is getting a little bit off screen here. Sorry about that. So the main thing about sprites is, yeah, it's a good idea to use the PNG file format. That also has the, when you save things to PNG, you can remove background and have transparency. It's a good advantage. It's a high quality format, and we can at least see it works with Pd-L2Ork. So the main thing is file names. Here, it doesn't even reference a file name. What it's probably looking for is just in this folder a series of files that have this underscore and then a number afterwards. And this is how it knows 0000 is the beginning one, 0001, 0002. And so that's how it knows what order to put them in. So the file names are important in that regard. The beginning part of the file name, this saying cat walk south, isn't important. It could be something else, and so forth. But it's the underscore and then the number afterwards. I don't know if it needs to be 4 digits. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because I've done exports of frame by frame fractal animations that got into 5 digits and so forth. And so that might still be fine. It depends on basically how many frames you have in that animation. Okay, so we can close that, but that's where you can get the cat files. For my students, I am also uploading a zip file that says cat. And what I did, or I'm going to do now, and that would be in this week's module. I'm going to put this cat folder right in here into my episode 5 folder. So my episode 5 folder's here. This is where I'm going to save the PD patch, and we're going to have a folder named cat right next to it. We're also going to have a folder named audio. Now, since cat has a capital C, I'll go with a capital A there, but PD is case sensitive, so when referencing to this, I am going to have to make sure I capitalize the A in audio. So what I'm going to put into audio, and this file will also be on the weekly module for my students, but you are welcome, actually both my students as well as general YouTube audience, you are welcome to use your own song here. Or it doesn't have to be written by you or anything. It could be, an audio file, just a stereo song file, a WAV file. I think it could also be AIF, but I don't think MP3. Oh, wait a minute. I bet this is an MP3. No, this is a WAV. This is a WAV. Good. It needs to be WAV or AIF, I believe. A lossless audio file. Because Pd-L2Ork as well as PD, I don't think they do, they deal with MP3 encoding. Okay? So that would be the thing that would be, the requirement. And I would recommend in this case, what is the sampling rate on this? It's got to be the same sampling rate that you use for your what do you call it, that you're using in PD. Show me more options. Or wait a minute, no. I could have found it in that previous window. Here, properties. Can we see what the sampling rate is? Because it might be 44.1. This is some of my music. Since this is my music channel, I won't get copyrighted myself or copyright claimed by CD Baby. So I can use it. Let's see here. I just did a clip of it. You don't show sampling rate here? Not useful. I just want to make sure of the sampling rate. Well, we'll try it, and if it doesn't work, could change the sampling rate in PD. But that is something to be, cognizant of. Whatever sampling rate this file is, you want to make sure in PD that you are using the same sampling rate. Pd-L2Ork in this case. And that can be adjusted from edit preferences. The preferences for Mac users might be in the Pd-L2Ork menu at the top left portion of your menu bar. Let's see here. Startup, no. What am I thinking? Audio. Here, we can go to 44.100. I have a feeling these are 44.100. No, they're probably, no, I think they're 48. But we'll see. But yeah, that's at least where you can change it if you need to. All right, so let's make a new patch. And I'm going to save it right there. And I'll use as much real estate as I can get here. I'll save it right there in that episode 5 folder. You want to save it before doing other things because it needs to know where its location is for some of the things that we're going to do. Okay, and so I'm going to call this catwalk. I don't have to get rid of, I don't have to make it all one word and lowercase stuff here for this file name because I don't plan on loading this patch that I'm making into PD as an abstraction. You got to follow those rules of making sure it's got no spaces in the file name and try to be careful about your case and matching it only when you're going to be loading it into other patches. And this is just going to be on its own, so I don't need to worry about it. So here we go. I want to see what we can do with this thing. So I'm going to type struct cat float x float y. Not a message box, sorry. Another object box here. We're going to do draw sprite. Now, in this case, I guess I could do the same thing. Dot / capital C A T. Okay. Now, it looks like what the sprite, this draw sprite gets fed is numbers, saying which of those frames, which of the numbered frames goes first. So first they're going to make a mechanism like what we have in the example there. So that starts with a toggle. Turn it on and off. Metro. Let's say, yeah, I'll do a Metro 50 like they have there. So it's walking the same speed. But we can even adjust that because Metro can receive new values. And then Metro is going into float. And over here, we need a +1 object. That's because I typed wrong character. All right. So here's where the number comes out of float. It goes into there. All right. One gets added to it, but we put a mod 30 here. Now the number on this mod would be basically what is one number beyond the last sprite number. The cat sprites are numbered 0 through 29. So there's 29 different frames there. Okay, so that'll keep that going, and it would be nice for us to have a number box to see it. Now we got to actually put in the cat sprite. There we go. Turn it on. There we go, just like the example. Now, we can add a number box here to change the speed at which this plays back. Let's try 30 frames per second. Yeah, it's working fine. Looks smooth enough. Half speed would be 15. Oh, I'm going backwards here. I'm sorry. I'm going backwards here. Basically, the number I put in here is number of milliseconds in the interval. So these are not frames per second numbers, but we can convert that. If you think better in frames per second, we can do some calculations here. Basically, we could type in FPS up here. And then what we can do is say swap 1000, and that goes into a divider. Now you hook the right outlet of the swap 1000 up to the right inlet of the divider. Let me move this stuff up a little bit. And then put it in here. So now, if I type 30 frames per second, what this does is, I've got to hook it up. Goes in here. 1000 comes out the left outlet. This number comes out the right outlet. So 1000 gets divided by 30. So that gives us the number of milliseconds in between. It's going to be a non-whole number. It's not going to be an integer. It'll be a floating point number with a decimal point. But let's see what 30 frames per second is. Yep, having an interval of 33.33 and onward. Milliseconds in between. Metro will still take that. I think, though, it only takes the integer. It probably drops everything beyond the decimal point out. Or maybe it doesn't. Let's try 15 frames per second. There you go. You see half speed there. So that's how you can do frames per second. Now, we'll just turn off the toggle and it stops. Okay, so that's one way of controlling our cat here. Let's look at something else, though. I am going to... Oh, no, cancel. I am going to hit Control-S and save, though. Hit the wrong button there. All right, so make an object. ADC tilde. Bringing in sound. I must have had a typo. Yeah. Bring in sound. Put it through our old friend envelope. 16384 is a good window size, I've found. So you pop that in. You could then put 8192 afterwards, but I think it defaults to that. So you don't absolutely have to. Okay, so here's our envelope. This will be reading pulses. And now what I want to do, put a number box afterwards and kind of see what we're getting. Now, I didn't turn on DSP, so let's put our friendly load bang in. Semicolon, enter PD-DSP1. So that happens to start. Patch up. Go into run mode, click it now. So now our envelope is giving us values. Yeah, and it looks like or let me do not with the voice like that, but how about claps? It looks like it crosses 70 when I clap, or for the most part. And so what I'm going to do, put here Moses 70. So if it's 70 or above, it will trigger a bang. We've used Moses before. If it's below 70, it comes out here, but we not going to use it if it's below 70. If it's 70 or above, it comes out here, but we're turning it into a bang that will then just go over here and bang this left inlet of the float box, because that will bang the number through. So now the numbers will go through and continue adding up, but only with our claps. Here, I'm just trying to move this up so it looks better. Make sure people see it's going into the left inlet, not the right. The right means something gets put in there and stored. That's why here, after things get added and go through the modulation, they get stored in the right inlet, waiting for another bang to come through to push them out. Okay, so that's how that works. So let's try this now. It seems to be working. I mean, I'm not going to be able to clap 20 times per second. You know what I mean? So yeah, the thing is, I'm trying to think if there is a way of, there's always got to be a way. Just got to think of it. All right. Well, actually, I'm going to do this just so the cabling doesn't get super messy. But let's say we want each clap to give us, we got a total of like 30 frames here. So how about each clap gives us, let's see, if we're doing 20 frames, I could clap maybe 3 times a second, possibly. Okay, so if each of those claps can put out 10 bangs. Well, let's try 5, just so we're not overdoing it. Bang, 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 bang. That's 5 bangs there. Now, we're going to have to put some delays in. Delay 20. So this will look a little stuttered, but it'll be almost like cranking up something. The heck? Because basically, each one's going to move ahead 5 frames, but they're going to be at a set value of 20 milliseconds. Now, although, here, let me do this. I'm going to put in a receive called interval, meaning the space in between each one. And that receive is going to feed these delays. They're all going to be the same, so I could use the same receive to do this. And then I'll send interval from over here, where you could kind of type in a frame rate, get your calculations, and then that goes into Metro, but it also, if you're doing things that way, but if you want to use this kind of clap method, you got to spell that right. We can send it here. So that 20 in each delay acts as like a creation argument, a default value. But when interval gets received here, this value changes. You don't visually see it change, but it changes internally and it will respond accordingly. So now let's do some clapping. We ain't getting nothing. Oh, I didn't hook these things up. That's right. I gotta make, I was gonna make a mess. Man. Control Shift B. I went too far that time. Look at my fingers and do it. There we go. Basically, if I connect all these bangs up to here, to this physical bang, my voice is already setting it off. Maybe 70 is a little high. And when you're doing this yourself, I mean, look at your numbers coming out of envelope here and say, okay, how loud is it that, like when a clap, maybe I should set it to 80 over here. So it's not going off every time. Okay, and then this bang gets hooked up to the left inlet of the float right there. Move this up so it looks a little better. All right, now it's still going off when I talk. There you go. Yeah, sometimes I think it's because I have some compression. Oh no, PD wouldn't be reading that because that's at the OBS end. I don't know. Maybe I need to try setting it to 90. Now, when I'm talking, it's not going off at all, talking in a normal voice. I got to clap near the microphone, but it's not getting all of them. So you got to fiddle around with this, maybe adjust your gain on your audio input device. I don't want to here because it's set for... That's pretty good. Yeah, that'll work, I think. Now, another thing you can do is, and this will be the last bit, you can also, I'm going to move our cat down here. Oh no, no good place to put you. I guess a little further over. You could also, like, let's say you want to bring in some music. Where I'm going to save, and I'm going to put this audio file that I have in here. I'm just going to check its name. I don't remember. I'm going to load it in and see how well it responds to the sound of the impulses in the music. I Walk the Land clip. You're welcome to use your own audio file if you want for this, as I said before, but we got to see if the sampling rate is all right. Here, I think I can move you over here. Okay, now we're gonna bring in audio by going Read SF tilde. Okay. Sometimes you get, giving me two outlets here, so I believe we're going to get stereo out. But hold on, let me just check here. Put two there. Okay, no, yeah, that's what I needed. So this is going to be my left and right, because this is a stereo file. And now we need to send it a message to open audio / oh, remember I capitalized the A in audio on disk. Audio / I _ walk _ the land .wave. Can't have spaces and file names when you're doing this stuff in PD. Okay. Now we are then going to need a toggle to start and stop this. Now you got to hit this first. So that's loaded the sound file, or told read SF. That's the sound file to read. Now we have our outputs here for our DAC. And this outlet gives other information. Don't exactly remember, but it's not what we need. We basically are going to be hearing it this way. And then what I think we can do, let's disconnect this one for a moment and connect up we don't need two envelopes, just since each side carries a significant amount of the musical material. The left side should be enough to give us some impulse generation. So let's go for it. I'm not hearing it. Any errors over here? Let's get our console window up. Saved to warning. This is from earlier. Couldn't create ADV. Yeah, that's from earlier when I had a typo. Let's go look at the help file for read SF. Unless this is the sampling rate thing. I think in that case I would hear it just played back if it was 44,100 being played at 48,000. It would just sound faster and higher in pitch. Or maybe it wouldn't load it. I don't know, but you would think you would get a message over here. Okay, open file name is what I did. Now here they have 1 and 0, as well as start and stop. I don't think I have to do start, although let's try it. Is DSP on? Yeah, it's got to be because we were just using it. Okay. Yeah, so that wasn't the problem. I can get rid of that. Let's change the sampling rate to 44,100. A lot of times the exports to wave that I have are intended to go to CD from there. So maybe it is 44,100. I think I'm going to have to pause. Check this out. Here they have everything going to the DAX. I mean, it's going through a multiplier, an amplifier first, but I mean, they also have envelopes reading, the impulses coming out of it. But let me see here if the example works. Of course, I'm only hearing one side for some reason. Read SF. They put 4 here to get some extra channels, I guess. Oh, hold on here. I'm hitting 1. Okay, you got to hit open each time. LE plus 06. I don't think that's necessary. But look at the arguments here. Float, float. The number of channels. Yeah, 2 is good. That's what we have. Buffer size. Oh, wait a minute. That's not LE. That's 1E. Yeah, this is an exponent. It's making a huge buffer size. Do you need to set a buffer size? Let me see. Well, I'm going to. So that's 1E plus 06, which is a high number. Oh no, stop. Edit mode. You would just figure there would be a default one. Let's try that now. Now we got to open. Now they were using an AIF file, but here, let's test another thing here. We're going to do write SF. Two channels. I don't think we need to put in the, because I've used these before and I don't think I've ever put in the buffer size. Open audio, capital A audio, /test.wave, WAV, and then put in a toggle here. I leave in some of this debugging stuff because in learning the software, you got to also learn some debugging techniques. Okay, we should be hit this first. Okay, we should be recording the file. Let's see what happens. it just might not like my audio file. I don't know why. Here's test. Oh. Well, I unchecked the toggle. Let's see here. I'm going to switch to start and stop. See if that works better. Maybe a stop never got received, even though I turned the toggle off. I don't know. Uh-huh. Yeah, somehow. Yeah, look at it. It's 4 bytes, 44 bytes. It's not recording to it. Of course, we're not sending any sound into it. That might be an explanation there. We kind of need to, here, I'm going to go back to the toggle because this obviously wasn't the problem. All right, let's go back to the toggle because the toggle is just simpler to use. Yeah, let's take you down here. Record ourselves to file. And put the toggle right here. Okay, we should be recording the file right now. Let's see how this goes. Now, let's see if it did it. No. $44 bytes. It not doing it. I'm gonna look at the help for this. It not doing it. I am probably going to have to pause, sort this out, and get back to you. But I just want to see right here. Yeah, here it just records a tone. But here I don't see toggles. I see starts and stops. And so this just like gives it a delay. It records basically 1 second of a 440 hertz tone. Okay, let's give this another shot here. And then if it doesn't happen, I'm going to set this up like we do a lot of our recordings to files. I mean, yeah, we've used Write SF before. Put a toggle at the top, put a select 10. Then we put, come on. Then we put a message. And that message is going to be open audio test .wave. And put it right into here. Okay. Oh, I already had the message. Jeez. Okay. Oh, but yeah, I do need to put in, remember, we want a delay, trigger, bang, bang. This one happens first. And then we're going to have a delay. "20 milliseconds is usually 100. Because before you start it, you want to make sure it has properly opened the file. Now that would not have been the problem that we were having because I was manually clicking the open message and definitely within a tenth of a second passed before I hit start. Okay. So, and then in this case, when the toggle gets unchecked, we're just going to stop. So it goes out the middle outlet, which lines up with the 0. Remember, the rightmost outlet means none of the above. Okay. Oh, undo that. Just wanted to get rid of you. All right. Let's see. Are we recording this time? Please. We've used Write SF before. A lot. What's going on here? Are we getting... Read SF. Start requested with no prior open. Yeah, that probably happened at some point. I'm going to pause, clean this up, and then I'll unpause and let you know what happened. Oh, okay, let me make sure I am properly recording again. There we go. Yeah, looks like we are recording. Good. All right, well, it was a brain fart thing. Here with Write SF, I had the stop hooked up to this message box here instead of Write SF. So anyway, this is not what we're trying to achieve, though, here is recording audio files. Although I'm going to keep it to the bottom. I was just doing it because it's like, I just wanted to test out to see if, what the heck is going on? Why are things not spawning as they should? So now let's go back up here to this guy and see what we can do here. Already, I am gonna probably, instead of sending it 1s and 0s, I am gonna make the same mechanism that we use for gotta move you over here. Running out of space. Okay, the same mechanism that I used as Write SF down below. So we're going to put this up here. we're going to go to a select 1, 0. And then the one side is going to trigger 2 bangs. And the one bang will be this open message. The second one will be a delay. What? 100. There we go. And then we put in, just move you down further. Start. Come on. All right. And then over here, we're going to have our stop message. So each time you play, you got to send that open message. All right. Now let's see. Error. DSP audio 1, I walk the land.wave. No such file or directory. Well, I didn't see this before. Audio / I walk the land. WAV. Oh, it's got underscore clip at the end of it. I thought when I first started having problems here that that I looked at that error readout screen and I didn't see anything. Okay, we're working now. So let's see how this movement goes with that music. A little bit slow. Now, I'm going to try something else here. Instead of this audio driving it, let's put our ADC back over here and test something. I'm going to play back and clap at the same time. Almost. Yeah, I think our level up here, I mean, I'm talking right now. I saw it bang once, maybe with a few more delays so that some more frames pass. So what I am going to do is hook up a mechanism now where you don't want to be clapping in real time to do this stuff. So what you want to do is record a bit of a clap track. Where let's say you want to have something where you make these different sprite animations for music, but the actual tempo and the drums and the impulses in the music aren't frequent enough to move your animation along so well. Well, first we're going to try the easier technique of the two, which is something that probably has to be done anyway. And let's see if we can get the music to respond to this a little bit better. Probably what we need are more delays, some more bangs here. So we can add B, 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 total of 10. And boy, we're running out of space here. This is where things should probably be put inside sub patches, like here. Control 1, PD, recording. This is where I'm going to put this stuff. Now you'll see me move this off screen. Don't be alarmed, I'll bring it back. I just want to clean up some space here. All right. Basically, I want this to play back with the music well. So this is what I did off screen. I copied and pasted all that stuff in here, and we're going to make an inlet so that, yeah, so that we can have a toggle on the outside. There we go. And then this one can easily be put away, and we're going to call it playback. I'll just control exit right now. Create some patch PD playback. Okay. Put an inlet at the top and hook it up. Okie dokie. So put a toggle on here. Very good. Now we have just move it over. Trying to let things be a little nice. Well, yeah. Okay, so I have recording and playback here. What my strategy is now, and we are coming to the end of this, I'm going to see if just by having enough delays and bangs going on, if we can get a smoother walk. If we can, just from feeding the music into it, great. But then I'll just indicate another thing that can be done. And we may have to do it because this may not work out well. Another thing that can be done to where you can make I only added 4 more of these. To where you can record your own clap track from within PD just in case the music is not creating enough clear impulses to drive the animation. Now, you could always just say, all right, what's the tempo of the music? And then calculate a frame rate from that and feed that in. But what if you're doing something live and stuff like that? It'd be nice to be able to read the impulses of the live sound. That would be good. Or if you're playing something live, you could have MIDI notes that you're playing not only go to the instrument that you're playing. MIDI notes can also then act as a trigger to move this thing forward. So anyway, let's try this first. Playback needs an outlet. And it's an outlet tilde because it's audio rate at this point. And so we'll hook playback up to, where is it? Envelope. There we go. All right. Let's see what happens. I'm going to try different values here. That worked. Oh my gosh, it's a miracle. Yeah, you literally just need to find the right threshold and envelope for the input of the sound coming in, so it catches, like, percussion or some of those things that emphasize the beat. Now, if you have something slow coming in that's like sustained, like, then yeah, you got to set up values here that kind of go with, the tempo of the music and all that. Maybe you could have all these, these delay values here, they're sent by this symbol interval here, where basically you could have like a BPM calculator here, where BPM can be put in for what the beats per minute of the music is, and so forth, and basically have this calculate based on that, because it might be hard for it to read impulses with sustained sound. And so when it's sustaining, if it's setting off the envelope here, and so the sound is actually happening, what you need to do is basically the envelope will still be across this threshold, so you get all these delayed bangs one after the other. But this happens once when it crosses the threshold. I think it needs to go back down again. Or maybe not. We'll see. But in any case, looks like, yeah, that works. But let's say you want to record a clap track for it, so that you are controlling it. Well, in this patching here, the way we have things set up, I can set up something here that toggle for making a clap track. I'm going to put it in a sub patch though. PD clap track record. Okay, we're going to have an inlet. And basically what we want to do is start both of those things at the same time. I don't think I even need this sub patch. Hold on a second. Hold on. This would turn these both on at the same time. I'm trying to move you. There we go. I don't know if there's a nice place to put it. Right about there. And I'm going to rename here, just for the heck of it, in recording. Instead of calling it test, let's call it clap. Oh, I just closed it. Well, good thing I've been saving. Hello, are you going to work this time? I did not mean to play that. Let's delete, though, that test file and go back here, open up Catwalk. Oh, yeah, but not in PD vanilla. Where's open with? Come on, buddy. There we go. Pd-L2Ork. Okay. So now we should be able to just press this guy. In which case over here, I might want to set this threshold higher now. Let's put it back at 85. All right. So now the low bang should have turned on DSP. Oh, the ADC isn't. Yeah, I don't have an ADC on this to test it, but I'm just wondering, am I going to be using an ADC? Here, let's go back to this. I think for now, I'm just going to put in a temporary ADC to see what the threshold is going to be. And I could actually leave this in, I'm pretty sure. All right, so my voice isn't really throwing it off. There we go. Yeah, 85 is good. Now, what I'm going to do is change recording. And this will be the last bit. I know it's getting a little long here, but I think this is a valuable thing to do. Not recording, playback. That window back up here. This is a valuable tool to be able to do this. We're going to disconnect this because this is the song that's going to go to the DAC. That's the music that would go out. Now, of course, presumably you would put your sprite animation in some window where you can display it and like a second display and an audience could see it or something like that. And you could have all sorts of sprites going on there and moving around and all that sort of stuff. But basically, here's where the music would come out. But the impulse is not going to be detected by that. It's going to be detected by this. We're going to duplicate this. pull this over here, it's going to be based on, and we're going to get rid of the DAC so we don't hear this. It's going to be based on the clap. We changed the name to, I'm going to have to double check what the name of that file is going to be. But over here, this is the one that we want loaded and sent over here to envelope. So envelope's going to receive from here. Now, if you're in a live concert, you would want to be able to kind of mute the input of your ADC over here, like mute with a toggle and star tilde, just to mute the input here. So, you know, you could use this to gauge your level for the envelope, then mute this so it's not coming in here. And then over here, from PD playback, I'll have to go into recording first to see what I changed that to. Just clap.wave. And then from PD playback, so it's going to play back clap.wave. Now let me just label this. Record clap track. And probably, yeah, definitely the patch could be organized better, but it's about understanding concepts. Properties, this one, when that toggle gets turned on, it's basically play song. And of course the clap track gets played into it. Hold on here. Record, no, properties. This is going to be called record. You know what? There doesn't even need to be don't close. I meant to do something else. There doesn't even need to be a thing on this because you're not going to record the clap track without doing the other thing. So this will go directly to here. All right. Now the thing is, if we just want to play the song, you press here. If you want to record a clap track, you press here. But remember, this is also playing the clap track while recording it. So we need to have a second inlet here. In other words, and in fact, I'm going to reverse these. Whatever the leftmost inlet is going to be the leftmost one, and they go in order from left to right. If we want both to play, it'll be the left inlet that will cue both. And the right inlet will just cue the one. So, play song. And this is record clap track. There we go. So now let's try this. This should play back the song and record me clapping while that's happening. Okay, so we recorded that in. Now I am going to get rid of the ADC here because I think that was doing double duty. It was moving while that was happening. Now the outlet from playback here goes over here. All right, so now we can play back, and it's our clap track that will be driving the sprite, not the music. And it's not. Let's see here. Clap.wave. The left inlet hold on. Do I have the right inlets hooked up here? The left inlet is for recording. The right inlet is for playing back. So the left inlet, when recording, this should not be played back. I got it backwards. It's when you just want to play back the song. There we go. So I had it backwards. There we go. I don't know. Hold on a second here. That is a way of doing it, but it's not looking like my claps were accurate enough, maybe. Here, let's lower this to 80. Maybe because it's looking like it's just stopping every now and then. Maybe the threshold was too high. Try now. That's better. Yeah, I set the threshold too high. Okay. So I believe this sets up all the principles that I wanted to show you. Your imagination can do the rest. Wanted to get a snapshot of that. Yeah, and so it stopped where it was supposed to. So there you go. So you've seen a number of ways of doing it. Have the music driving envelope, having a clap track. You can see how you can record your own clap track within PD to set it up. And now basically my tempo claps will, I could load another song in, clap differently, and it'll work as well. So it looks like we got it going there. So thank you for joining me. And stay free and take care.